Welcome into Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you with a breakdown of the second round for the Seahawks. We are presented by Manscaped. You need to log on to manscaped.com/chat for 20% off your next purchase. And there's some great stuff from Manscaped that we're going to tell you about in just a second. 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com/chat. Now, for the Seahawks, they had back-to-back picks at 40 and 41. Boye Mafe is the pick for the Seahawks at 40, the edge rusher from Minnesota. And they stayed in the Big Ten at pick 41 with Kenneth Walker III, the running back from Michigan State. Both of these picks filling needs for the Seahawks, but notably they passed on a quarterback with Malik Willis still available for the Seahawks at either selection. Let's go ahead and look at the draft profiles now, starting with Boye Mafe, the pick at 40. Mafe, 34 tackles for loss in 2021, including 7 sacks and a forced fumble. He was terrific there at Minnesota in his time there, as he was a 4-year player finishing up this past season, and he had 1 forced fumble this past season as well to go along with those 34 tackles and the 7 sacks that he put together at Minnesota this year. And for me, when I look at Boye Mafe, and this was a guy that I think most years you would be looking at as a first-round type of talent, but with as much depth as there was in this year's draft, there just simply wasn't enough spots available. So he finds himself falling to 40, and the Seahawks feel pretty good about themselves that they find him available at this spot. More on the scouting report on Mafe, courtesy of our own Tom Dowdy here at Chat Sports. He describes him as a pass rush specialist who had great testing, showed the ability to drop into coverage too, needs to develop a little bit more in the run game. He is ranked as the 7th best rusher in our rankings, the 42nd best player overall. So that kind of lines up close to where he was picked at 40th. So there is the pick, Boye Mafe to the Seahawks at 40. Here's your chance to weigh in. What do you guys think of the Seahawks taking Boye Mafe there at 40? Type A, B, C, D, or F. You're going to get an ad break. Take advantage of it. While that ad is playing, get your votes in how you think the Seahawks did taking Boye Mafe with the number 40 selection. The 41st selection from the Seahawks was Kenneth Walker III. Kenneth Walker III, a household name in college football this past season with over 1,600 yards and 18 touchdowns. He was terrific in what was a resurgent year for Michigan State, as that program had been down for quite some time. He came in and did not disappoint, was a big part of Michigan State's success, including a win against their arch rival, the Michigan Wolverines, this past season. Now, if you look at the numbers for Kenneth Walker III this past year, arguably the best running back in the country, 18 touchdowns this season, and had that good combo of both power and speed. And he's in this spot, the second running back off the board, and I think that the Seahawks in this position where they find themselves going with Kenneth Walker III here is that you look at the 2 backs that you have right now in this system with Chris Carson and Rashad Penny. Chris Carson isn't getting any younger, and he's already dealt with some injury issues. Rashad Penny, a very talented running back, but he's dealt with some health issues himself. So now you add another running back into the fold here, and quite frankly, Kenneth Walker III might be the best running back on the roster from day one. A really good find for the Seahawks in this position, quite frankly, at 41. The question, though, becomes, did they prioritize the running back position higher than they should have over other positions? Yes, it was a need, but that should have they picked elsewhere. We'll have more on that in just a second. But before we do, we want to make sure that you are subscribed to Seahawks Today. We are all over the NFL Draft and continuing Seahawks offseason coverage. The easiest way that you could be a part of what we're doing here on Seahawks Today is by subscribing to the channel, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Turn the notifications on so you can be the first to see the latest Seahawks daily videos in content from Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Now, worth noting, the Seahawks did pass on Malik Willis. Nobody and their mother thought that Malik Willis was going to be available at 40 and 41. And the Seahawks had done their homework. They had looked at Malik Willis for quite some time, potentially as a guy to draft at number 9. But it's not just Willis that they passed on here. It's also worth noting that they passed on Desmond Ridder, who was a top 30 visit to Seattle. We also know they passed on Sam Howell, Matt Carroll, names that were mentioned for quite some time for the Seahawks for them to potentially grab at those 40 and 41 spots. And that 40th pick that the Seahawks had came directly from the Russell Wilson trade. So a lot of speculation was, okay, you get rid of Russell Wilson. Now you have this extra pick, one of many picks. Surely one of those is going to be on a quarterback, but it wasn't. And you know what? I look at this situation for the Seahawks, and you don't get a quarterback, but the Seahawks have done their due diligence in looking at this quarterback class and saying, look, these guys, they're not good enough. They are not good enough to be the man to lead this franchise going forward. If you're going to spend a high round pick on a quarterback, first or second round, you have to be committed to that guy. And John Schneider and Pete Carroll have made it clear they are not committed to one of these quarterbacks by not making that selection here. So whether it's Drew Lock or Geno Smith leading the way this year, or if it's a move for Baker Mayfield potentially, those options are the direction the Seahawks are going to go. It's not going to be with one of these quarterbacks, and maybe they're already looking ahead to next year for a quarterback to lead the way for the Seahawks. Seahawks Today is powered by Manscaped, and Manscaped has some of the best men's grooming products around, including the Lawnmower 4.0. Quite the deal on this puppy, as it's only $71.99, normally priced at $89.99. And the only way to get your hands on one of these is by going to manscaped.com/chat. Use the promo code CHAT at checkout, and you'll get 20% off plus free shipping on all of their men's grooming products. It's a great deal. And you got the lip balm, the Lawnmower 4.0. It's some great products that you want to make sure that you get on manscaped.com/chat is the way to do so. It is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. We want to save balls around here at Chat Sports. Make sure to do so. Manscaped.com/chat. So the Seahawks, with their selections here in the second round, go with Boye Mafe, the edge rusher from Minnesota, as well as Kenneth Walker III, the running back from Michigan State. The Seahawks take care of two position needs at edge rusher and running back, but still have to address the quarterback position as well as the inside linebacker position. When will they do so? That remains to be seen, but right now, the Seahawks have found their guys in the second round, another pick coming in the third round later tonight.